All righty. Welcome to Elevator Talk episode 5. What is Elevator Talk? That's what we plan to address today. And today we have Stephen Gardner and Clarence Black. And so today we plan to simply address the question of who we are, and what we plan to do with our channel. And so thank you for tuning in today. And we'll kick it off and start it there. So I'll pass it over to Stephen and Clarence and we'll get the ball rolling. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, today we want to talk about what is elevator talk. I think one of the things we discussed when we first came with the idea of elevator talk, it was, we coming from a shared background, but at the same time, now, life has led us into many different directions. Within the kind of wisdom and kind of experience that we have made in our different professions where we are now working, missionary and engineer and military, there's so much things, that need to be said, and especially the things that are happening today. The world is changing so fast, and many things people need an outlet. Even we want to be able to say and to voice out, what is reason and what is right, and kind of talk about just the relevant topics of today.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's good. I'm right there with you on that one. So, for me, I think it was great that we come from a very shared background, as you said, but yet our friendship is based on communicating, talking, and having a good time. It was bringing a joy to people around us. It was having good conversations, despite whether it be riding in Freddie's car talking about music lyrics, or us rapping in physics class, right? I mean, it's just we've done it in so many different ways. And I think that it was great that now we have another platform, or since another audience that we can kind of utilize to just have a good time as three regular dudes, just living life, having families, loving families, living in our purpose, things like that. So I think thankful for the opportunity to do it. So I think elevator talk is a great way we can kind of do that. So
yeah, and just to piggyback, I third everything that each one of you have said. I think with the importance of elevator talk is having a community of like-mindedness. But then, like you say, we're branched off geographically hundreds of miles, right? We got Germany here, we have Hawaii here, we have Colorado. Not only that, we're all from the same place. So we were born and raised technically in the same area, same thing, but we branched out and kind of gone our different ways. So over the last 15 years, we've been exposed to different cultures, to different mindsets, to different outlets. And still in all of that, we still have been able to maintain ourselves and in our thoughts and our beliefs, even though we're geographically separated, not tied, but still have the same beliefs and thought processes along the way. And so it's beautiful to be able to chat and talk with brothers who are like-minded, in a completely different situation. Because each day, like you say, Clarence is in the military, a completely different mindset that he has to have when he's around his peers, in the submissive levels and the order. I mean, it's completely different. In my arena, engineering, it could be the same as him, or it can be the completely opposite. It could be a free show, and then a missionary. I mean, you talk a whole other world of of thoughts and perspectives, and I think it's beautiful because it ties into what elevator talk is. It's really elevating the mind, elevating you to go to a higher place. And so with us having elevator talk and all three of us coming together, as much as we possibly can, I really think it's going to be encouraging for the viewers to actually get those different perspectives and those different mindsets, and then get the one point, like, this is how we should be doing X, Y, and Z, or the questions that people have, like, as all of us are at least a father of 2 kids at least, right? And so we got babies, we got wives, we got careers, we got X, Y, and Z, we got all these different things that we're juggling. And a lot of people say, man, you can't, like, men can't do that, like, we're not, like, that's just too much. We're able to address and talk about things that most people sweep under the rug as, that's just too much to talk about. And then we're able to address things, as Stephen said, like, stuff that people don't really want to talk about, but that needs to be talked about, And so I think we're able to do all of what you guys have talked about and bring those perspectives into alignment with each other and really, expound upon what's going on in the world. So that's what I'm excited for about Elevator Talk. I'm just super excited, but I'll pass it back over. What does elevator talk mean to you, Clarence? Like, just elevator talk in general. What if somebody says elevator talk, what does that mean to you?
I mean, what it means to me would be, it's talking about things of either a higher chord, or it's potentially challenging the mindset that you're in, and hopefully you're trying to elevate that mindset, um, or elevate your talking point, so to speak. So it's been able to kind of have a good conversation around it, around whatever the topic is, whatever it may be. It can be something personal, it could be something career based, family based, whatever. But let's say one of us is struggling with something, going on with one of those three things. We can have the conversation, identify that struggle, identify the barriers and things like that. But then you guys can expect from me is like, hey, but yet there is more. There was a higher level to think about that. So instead of just seeing it from a negative view, or seeing it just as a struggle, I'm just going to sit here and wade in the sand. It's like, hey, it's about just putting the shovel down, stop digging yourself a hole, and challenging your ideals, challenging your time, being better manager of your time, reading books. Have you read this book? And so you guys are kind of showcasing to me, or giving me opportunities and tools to elevate my mind, elevate my talking points.
Perfect, perfect. On to you, Steve-O.
Yeah, I think so. I think even as you explained, Myron, about the different perspectives, and it kind of maybe it brought to my mind, when you're elevating, you're going to a higher ground. And what is it when you go to a higher ground? What is it that makes that important? What is it that makes that special, as opposed to being in a place you were before, or being down in the valley? It is the fact that you can see a very broad range of things. You can perceive it, you can assess it, and you can make judgment. But not only that, there is security in that. You have security of mind, and even physically, you're more secure when you are on this higher ground. So I think for me also, bringing that aspect aside, that sometimes we're like me. I'm a person that I don't just talk with a whole bunch of people. I like to keep a small circle. But the problem with that sometimes is when you keep a small circle and you're not meeting all kinds of people, is that your perspective can become limited in a way. And but I think that's also something to really help people to break out of elevator talk, is we're lifting a little bit higher so you can see beyond what you saw before, and not just to be caught up in what the people that think, or what these people think, and what you heard that it's like this, but to understand, different perspectives on things that are happening in life. There's different perspectives than just what you've seen or what you grew up seeing. uh we grow up seeing a lot of the common things, but at the same time, we've been thrust outside in some ways, even like you could say God's will, or not even us imagining that we'd be in these places, but we were just thrown out into the world in a faraway place, and we would just had to figure it out. And I think that perspective is very valuable, and that's something that we love to bring and to together to raise up our perspective, to really be able to just understand this world we're living in, and what are we supposed to do at this time. But at the same time, it's only going up one floor at a time. So when we get there, we just go as the things come. So I think for me also, that's really what elevator talk means.
Awesome, awesome. Both of you hit very, very good topics. Once again, I third everything you guys have said. And really, when you talked about the elevation, like actually going up, here in Hawaii, they have forts, and it reminded me just of forts, how these forts sit so high off the ground that the watchmen on the watchtowers could literally see miles and miles away, so that when the enemy was approaching, they had an unfair advantage because they could see everything that the enemy could see. And so, oh God, oh Jesus, I'm sorry. Woo! It just hit me. It just hit me. But yo, like that's the thing. When you elevate, when you're higher, there's things that they can't just run up on you. When you're in the valley, bro, people can sneak up on you, snakes can hop up on you. But when you're on the top of that mountain and you looking down, you see the snakes, you see the enemy, you see everything. And so, my goodness. So with elevator talk, we just plan to change the paradigm of our minds to be able to elevate it in our personalities and our thoughts and our aspects, everything to be elevated, to see above, to go above and be above. And so, yeah, oh man, ooh, yeah, that just hit me. And so that's what elevator talk means to us. So the question after that would be, what do we plan to do with elevator talk, and how do we plan to address issues in X, Y, and Z? So that would be the next question. Is we know what elevator talk means to us. We know it's to elevate the mind, it's to bring the perspectives higher, it's to go up one floor at a time. Like you said, we're not trying to jump from ground zero all the way to the 100th floor, but we're gonna get there. But at the end of the day, how do we plan to do that? Stephen.
Yeah, I think I kind of generally said it a little bit, but I think really in a practical way, I think really just topics that come up that for us seem like it is important or it is really impactful for our community or at least for even the world. I guess our community is even the world at this time, you could say. Um, but yeah, I think just us generally continuing to keep these conversations going, but also I think the hope is when people are really interested or people have certain things that are on their minds that they would like to hear discussed or that they have questions about or they have an opinion about, that's something that we can also kind of go with. That practically it becomes a conversation not just between the three of us, but between anyone who is willing to converse with us, in that way. And through that, we can really get even clearer perspective on things. So,
Clint?
No, that was good. That was a good point, Stephen. I think for me personally, um, you know, I just have to go back to like the purpose of an elevator. It's like, why do we take an elevator? If we're in a big tall building, it's because there's multiple levels to this floor, multiple levels in this building. And there's many ways around. You can scale the building, you can take a plane, helicopter to the top, or you can walk the stairs if you want to do a challenge, or you can just simply take the elevator. And the cool thing about the elevator is that it allows you to go through each level one at a time. And the cool thing is you can choose when and where to get off. And so my goal is that for me, from my standpoint, as I talk with different people, or talk with you guys, and as you guys, talk with me and challenge me and everything I bring up to the platform, is that you guys help me to identify where we are, right? We can simply have a conversation, where am I at in this building? Where am I at in this situation? Or my purview or my perspectives and things. And then from there, I could be like, you know what, but this is where I'm trying to go. So I may see it from this view. I may be sitting here seeing my reality, but then where am I trying to go to? So it's having that goal set mind. It's like, I'm not just trying to sit here. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to continue to be moving. And then from there, it's like, okay, well, how do we get there? I'm trying to get to the 20th floor, but I'm on the 10th floor. Well, how do I get there? You identify those options. You identify those sources you can get there. And then after that, the last part is getting there. So now I expect you guys is, hey, have you tried this? And then next time we talk, I should have done something. I should have had a conversation with my wife about a particular issue. I should have maybe read a book on something financial because I didn't understand it, or take a class or take a course or whatever these situations or solutions might be. We're continuing just trying to move up one at a time. And the cool thing is being able to applaud each and every person that we talk to about things, or even ourselves, is about, are you moving? And it's one step at a time, and enjoying that one step at a time, and not trying to, like you said, jump from level 0 to 100. It's a gradual process, one floor at a time, one step at a time, one level at a time.
Perfect. Once again, both of you. Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement. I believe that's how we're going to address issues on elevator talk. And you hit on something with you actual physical elevator. So if you ever go to New York, the elevators there can carry like 30, 40 people. And what I think of when I think of New York is, you have 100 stories, right? There is no more efficient way than to get that many people to that many floors that fast outside of an elevator. And so with that, elevator talk is going to be the most efficient way to get people's mindset to a higher level, the fastest way possible. And my goodness, elevator talk is the method of choice for elevating the mind. I just absolutely, I related back to the New York. Like I said, if you ever go to New York, because regular elevators, you got like 4 or 5 people on them, and if it's really packed, you may have 10. But in New York, they got 30, 40, and everybody's like crammed on, and it's amazing because the elevator has a capacity, but it's able to throw people off of it extremely fast, right? So it'll go up 10 floors, 10 people will get off. Go up another 4 floors, 3 people get off. And that speaks back to elevator talk, that everybody can't go with you to the next level. And we'll talk about that later on in life. But all of us are witnesses that, there were friends and things that and even to this day, I still have friends, but they can't necessarily go to the next level, not because they're not capable or they're not able, but because everybody isn't called to go to the same place you're called to go to. And I think the sooner we recognize that in life, the more powerful we become, because a lot of us, read the Bible and see all the people who held on to things that they shouldn't have held on to because they were comfortable. And they were punished later down the line, right? Or some type of, thing happened where it was like, I told you to let that thing go, but you decided to bring it with you. So here's your punishment. And there is some serious stories on on not taking the instruction and running. And so for each one of us, I know for sure we've all had to go to a place where God said, hey, I need you to go to this next level. But we're like, but God, but what about such and such? I want to bring such and such along. And God said, you drop all of that and keep going where I tell you to go. And just that's just the reality of life. And when you're called for a purpose, God always will tell you to leave a thing so you can get the best thing that He has for you. And so yeah, I'm in agreement, 100% in agreement. The Elevator Talk is going to be the best elevator that New York has ever seen. And we're going to elevate people. We're going to, men, women all around the world are going to be elevated through this platform. And children are going to be elevated. I think, we always talk about the head of the house. If we can address the head, I think everything else is going to be elevated and reflected from that. So yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm 100% in agreement. And I'm gonna open up the floor again just for any other sentiments or talks about Elevator Talk or anything else you guys want to talk about before we close it out today.
Yeah, I think I just want to throw really quick in there. It is our hope that every floor will be open, that we'll be able to go to it. And like you said, not everyone can go on every floor. And sometimes you got a different floor you got to work on first. But we hope that every single floor will be at least accessible to you. And like I said, we will be talking about broad topics. We'll be in the houses of ministries, prime ministers, and courthouses, and we'll be in our own kitchens and living rooms and even bedrooms at times. That's our hope, that like as a whole in our lives that we can lift up through this Elevator Talk. And so I think it's something I wanted to also throw in practically. We really want to be able to just talk about anything freely here. Yeah.
Amen. In agreement 100%. Clarence, go ahead and.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys are good. I mean, I don't know. Hey, you guys are hitting some really good topics. I'm hoping that, people who watch this, I hope you guys really see the heart, that we're talking about and see the importance of it and the value we're trying to bring of this identifying where you are, identifying the struggles, the mindsets, but just know that this touches on everything. The elevator it could be the building that you're in or the elevator is going to, it could be different things. And some place, I think in Chicago, on one floor, you may have a restaurant. Next floor may be a whole entire business operation, or the next floor could be something totally different, or a groom, whatever it can be. So just know that, as you process the things or begin to kind of build analogies for what you're going through, that it's going to be different for everybody. Like, we're not all the same. We're not possibly in the same building. Heck, we might not be in the same elevator. But just know that there is, a way to see things. There is a way to elevate wherever you may be. So just know that, we don't have to be comfortable where we are, but yet, hey, let's take the next challenge. Let's take the next step. Let's continue to move up wherever the mindset may be. It could be a variety of topics, a variety of struggles and issues there. And hoping that this platform serves as a place where we can have conversation, good, healthy conversation. And as one of my guys I watch on YouTube, I won't give the name, so I'm not trying to get any credits right now, I think he says all the time is lower your voice, but elevate your talking point. And so as we have these conversations, just know that, sometimes things may be heated, maybe personal, but the goal here is not to try to win the battle. It's like, hey, how are we elevating our mindset? So just know that it's not an argument platform. It's not a tear down platform. It's not the military. We're not trying to take it through a boot camp of mindsets. It's just, how do we begin to, get into elevator and go to where we need to go? So that's my only 2 cents.
Word up, word up. Well, you heard it from the fellas. This is Elevator Talk. This is what we plan to do. Thank everyone for joining in. And I'm going to open up the floor just one more time. Anything else, Stephen or Clarence? Did you guys want the input? We're good? Perfect. All right. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in for Elevator Talk, episode 5. What is Elevator Talk? So thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a blessed rest of the day. And we look forward to seeing you guys here soon. Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. And we'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you. And if I could figure out how to start recording.